So I had a situation come up the other day, and I just kind of wanted your guys' take on it here. So the situation happens that I am at work and we're short staffed. So now I know that that's something that happens, in a lot of different places. But for everyone, most people know that I work security. Mm-hmm. And when you're working security, especially in a larger place, sometimes it's really difficult to work short staffed. But I think the moral of the story that I'm coming to is that it is amazing when you have good supervisory staff that is willing to work with the staff that is there. So typically we have 3 of us that are working on a shift plus a supervisor. We ended up with only 2 of us on the shift plus the supervisor. So unfortunately, one of these stations didn't get as much care as it should have during that shift, but the supervisor really was amazing and stepped up to kind of fill in and cover for that. And then if other things had come up, they would come relieve us so that we could go do these bigger, high scale issues that needed to be taken care of. Have you guys in your working careers had someone that was like that in a supervisory role? Let's start with you, Chris Best.
Absolutely. I know a lot of people, especially our people from down in the South, give this company a lot of flack. But when I worked at Walmart, we had supervisors that cared about us. They knew when we were stressed out. They knew when to take us off the cash and take over. There was one Friday night where we were super short-staffed. 3 people called in sick.
Oh.
And you guys know what the tills are like there. They're insane on Fridays.
Yep. You're already running skeleton crews at that point too.
Yeah. And 2 of the supervisors came in unannounced. Like they came in, saw we were short staffed, and they were like, "Yep, sign me up. I'll come in and ring customers in for a few hours." And then the evening supervisors, because I did the afternoon to evening shift, which was working from 12 till 9.
Right.
And the evening supervisors came in and they started taking over and allowing us to have our breaks. And when we take our breaks, they come and take our till for however long we need to take our breaks for. And that is just something I've always appreciated and loved about working there.
Amazing. OMD, you got any stories?
I do. I mean, you and I are both familiar with working short-staffed in the fast food environment, but that's where I've got to give credit to just about all of the management and shift managers at KFC and Taco Bell.
Okay.
They were always there, if we had, whether it was a big order or whether it was just the frustration because we were just getting slammed. They were there, ready to help. I know I've been in that position as well as that supervisor that's needed to step up at Tim Hortons.
Right.
As well as just stepping up as that regular employee.
Mm-hmm. And I can vouch on OMD's half. I've seen him step up when I come out of Walmart because I used to go and visit him at work afterwards.
Right.
So, I mean, you were on the receiving end of that as well, Carl. I mean, you and I put in 6 months of nights together, and
yeah, that was at a Tim Hortons.
And then, even though we were separate stores, we did get those odd shifts together at another owner.
Yeah, we sure did. Yeah.
So, we've always been able to have that rapport and be able to know when you're needed to step up and when you need to ask for help.
Definitely. So there you go. I mean, if you are someone who is in a supervisory role or a position within management, you've heard it here from 3 of us who are very appreciative of when you guys step up and help us out, especially when we are short-staffed. We are not short on any topics for us today, so let's get to it. It's showtime. Chris, I know that you had a busy day. I've had a busy day. OMD is the one that kind of got more of the topics here for us tonight, which is different and good at the same time. OMD, I turn this over to you for you to start us off with a topic here.
All right. Well, we're going to start off with something a little interesting. And I mean, we've been seeing this global reach and a lot of international shows with WWE. And right now, I'm not even counting the Saudi shows. We've seen them do Australia this year, France. They've got Toronto coming up in a week or 2 weeks. Yep. Then you go to Berlin, Germany at the end of August. And we're not sure what else. We've also heard about a potential India show has been rumored off and on. But and now they're
in the WWE eyes, we've got Money in the Bank in Toronto. We are considered an international audience to them.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. We are seeing this now with the crossover with TNA. And now they are looking to expand and create partnerships in Mexico and Puerto Rico.
Okay. Does it give any indication or idea of which promotions that they might be taking?
There were several promotions listed.
Okay.
This could involve alliances with CMLL, AAA,
biggest.
IWA,
yeah,
and others.
Oh. IWA excites me because of a certain somebody who runs that company, and Carl and we met him.
We sure did. Yeah, we sure did.
That would be one Savio Vega.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And that's absolutely amazing that the company is now taking this type of a direction where they are willing to work with other promotions. And I think that all in all, it is an amazing thing for the world of professional wrestling, not just the WWE, but the world of wrestling. And I do have to put out for all of you that are watching us here tonight, you may kind of see each one of us glistening and shining a little bit right now. I can guarantee you that is sweat that is on us. We're going through a heat advisory, an extreme heat here for us in Northern Ontario, Canada. Yeah. Okay. We are getting Florida temperatures right now. To put it into Fahrenheit, we're looking anywhere between 90 and 97 degrees Fahrenheit, between 30 and 37 degrees Celsius. So if we are taking a few more drinks than usual in this episode or wiping our brows, please forgive us. Yeah. Just want to make sure that's out there.
Yeah, no word of a lie. Just before we went live, I had a froster to try and keep me cool, and it's not helping.
Right? Yes, you did. As I told Mr. Best pre-show, I went and bought 2 new fans for the floor.
Mm-hmm.
And I got home. I got one built. I got to build the other one after the show and put it in my room. But I have condensation coming up through my floor.
Yeah,
and I have concrete floors under this.
Yeah.
But back to this partnership, like I said, I'm more excited about with the IWA relationship, and because of Savio Vega, I've been watching a lot of IWA stuff. Granted, I don't know the names of the wrestlers because the shows that they do are all in Spanish on YouTube. He did say that they are English translated, but the English translation doesn't translate well on closed captioning, from what I found.
Right.
All in all, I'm excited because the IWA does give you very, very exciting action. So I'm excited to see who they bring in.
I'm excited to see AAA in this case.
Why?
Because you got a guy like Dragon Lee who has been there, has been the champion. You've got Andrade who came from there. The crossovers, the history, and that's just a couple of people. Let's not forget, Ray and Dom's Hispanic heritage.
Mm-hmm.
But by that same token, you should also be excited for CMLL, which also comes out of Mexico.
It is, but CMLL right now does have that working partnership with AEW. So
here's the problem with that. Yeah, here's the problem with that relationship. This is my personal problem with that relationship. AEW is not advertising the stars of CMLL the way they should be, giving us promo packages to help us understand who these wrestlers are. And I know WWE will do that same thing. They didn't have to for Joe Hendry, who, by the way, showed up on NXT tonight because everybody knows who he is.
Right.
But that's what I want to see, is some promotion to talk about the stars of these guys, these people, or even bring in. I know he's been long gone out of the business, but I'm sure he still follows it. But bring in Mike Tenay to talk about these guys.
Yep.
That would be awesome, actually.
I believe IWA also has affiliation with the Colon family, do they not?
Yeah, Savio runs it. It was originally Carlos Colon, Carlito's dad, right, who ran the company. Yeah, Savio now runs it, though.
Okay. As well, I'm excited with the AAA crossover because the AAA champion is one Nick Nemeth.
That's interesting.
Yes.
So again, the crossover there with him between their TNA and coming back to potentially a crossover show.
So
it's very possible. Before we continue, just in case anybody is new here and may not understand or know the name Nick Nemeth, that's formerly Dolph Ziggler of the WWE. You may recognize that name. Just wanted to make sure.
Right. If I'm not mistaken, Triple Mania should be just around the corner. AAA's version of WrestleMania is Triple Mania. So if this partnership does pan out, I would love to see some WWE guys go over there and have some matches. I know they'll probably send Ray. They'll probably take Dom. All of the LWO, all of Santos Escobar's crew.
Right.
Yeah.
But how about some American and Canadian wrestlers from other nationalities going in and taking part of that show?
Right.
I think that would be cool.
Right. And there's no reason why they couldn't. I mean, currently, the AAA mega champion is Nick Nemeth.
Right.
Right. So, with AAA and TNA working together, and they have for a while, and they're working closely together, this definitely opens up a lot more, especially if the WWE is using NXT as a testing ground, let's say, for these collaborations. Then why couldn't we take them just that one step further? If NXT is going to collaborate with TNA and TNA is collaborating with AAA, they're all collaborating at this point, is how I see it.
And let's not forget, like, if the WWE and AAA collaboration does come through, this isn't the first time that they've actually done it. Back in 1997, the 97 Royal Rumble, they called upon AAA guys to come in. They called on Mil Mascaras. They called on Latin Star. They called on, there was a few others they called on to come and take part in the Rumble. And granted, Mil Mascaras was confused about how the Royal Rumble goes.
Right. Yeah. No, I mean, that's amazing. And, I love that this is happening. And I think that it's about time that it is happening. Now, we talk about going through and having, this collaboration between the companies. Now, there are some names that I don't think that I would want included in a crossover type of situation. Two of those names, and more so one of those names, just returned to TNA, and that is one Jeff Hardy. Hours after his AEW contract expired, he returned to TNA at Against All Odds to defend his family and allies from Moose and his system minions. People for a while thought that, Jeff and Matt were probably going to become part of this new faction within the WWE. Thankfully not. I'm glad that they didn't, and I'm glad that didn't happen. But what's interesting is that both of them currently are still free agents, which means that we could see them go absolutely anywhere that they want to. And I mean, not that I'm a huge fan of them going to different promotions to be the stars, but I'm a fan of them going to other promotions to make the new stars.
Right. Yeah, they're another one that I don't want to see them back. It wasn't even a great pop for me because I watched the end where Jeff Hardy returned at the end of Against All Odds.
Right.
And I mean, you've seen it yourself when they returned at WrestleMania. I did not pop for that in the least. Because
that was,
I think they need to retire. I think a backstage producer's role, sure.
I mean, the WrestleMania debut was probably one of the worst kept secrets they had, because we know how fast they left the ROH show the night before. So,
right.
However, we talked about Jeff Hardy and Matt Hardy showing up in TNA, and now we're going back to the relationship between TNA and WWE. What's around the corner right now? A match that falls right under Matt and Jeff's fucking wheelhouse.
Yep.
I don't like the idea of them participating in the Money in the Bank, but it could very well happen. They shoehorned RVD in 1 year.
Right. I think that it would be ridiculous to do so. I think in the Evolution era, or the Triple H era, as others are calling it, I don't really think that would be a very good idea. Now, the WWE has seemingly kind of been going, and this is a totally other topic, but we're just going to touch on it briefly. Cody gimmicked and bladed. Okay. It happened, which means that could be back once again. As long as it's not all the time, I'm okay with it type of situation right now. But because of that, you got some good guys to be able to do this, but let's wait until like TLC. Let's wait until there's a time where there is a TLC match, and then maybe have Matt and Jeff as just kind of the guys that are coming in to maybe help push other guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they could be those dudes, right, that come in and, when they do like a talk about like the history behind TLC or the history behind ladder matches, they can come in and give their expertise on the matches that they've had,
Yeah.
I mean, they could, but who better to beat in a TLC match than Matt and Jeff Hardy? Now, yes, granted, I know they're getting up there in age. It's old. It's whatever. But is that not an accolade in its own? The guys who essentially put it on the map, them, Edge and Christian, the Team 3D, the Dudley Boys, like they put that on the freaking map, man. So if Matt and Jeff, who are still wrestling, come and do a TLC and put over one of the younger tag teams, what an accolade and what a shoot to a potential stardom for that team, right?
Right.
Yeah. And that's kind of the same argument. I'm going to go a little bit off topic here, that Parrish presented yesterday with the whole Seth Rollins taking on Damian Priest thing. Because now this is going to be the star-making match for Damian Priest as the heavyweight champion. I do see where you're coming from with that one. I'm now in my brain trying to figure out who would be the benefactors from that. I could see the Creed brothers maybe being benefactors in that. Trying to think of other tag teams that could use that. Even AOP maybe could be, because they really need it.
Yep, AOP would be great as well. I was thinking more the Creed brothers, to be honest.
Yeah,
me personally, that's who I was thinking.
I'm even going to go with.
I was looking
at the LWO.
Yeah, I was looking at like lower tag teams that could use that boost.
Right. And I mean, even if you have a situation where members of the LWO split, separate, whatever, and just say bulk bogan to all of it, they could just simply become that tag team. You know what I mean? And then they get that push. So they've come from a faction. They're unhappy in the faction. They go out on their own. They have a TLC match and beat Matt and Jeff Hardy. Well, now solidification is right there for an entire storyline.
Yep.
I mean, talking lower card tag teams on my screen, I've got Chase U. Even those guys, bring somebody up from NXT who, I'm just thinking about the possibilities that are endless for the Hardys right now, because they are, like you said, they're free agents. They can go anywhere, wherever the money is right, they will go.
Yep. Welcome in, Bulkster. Good to see you, brother.
Yeah.
Welcome, brother.
I used your name, but it's okay.
I authorized it.
Good.
I was going to say even the Good Brothers versus the Hardys, but I'm pretty sure we've gotten that already a few times.
I'm okay with the Good Brothers not being in that position. The Good Brothers have done a lot within the business, and if they are going to get big again somewhere, I would rather it be New Japan.
Yeah, because I was just going to say they are currently in the position of where we feel the Hardys could be. Because right now they're on NXT, they're helping the new guys out. They just did an angle with Chase U just now, so.
Yeah, no, I'd rather them get their stardom once again in NXT for myself. Anyways,
yeah. I like what they're doing there right now too. So,
right.
What's happening with them? And what are you talking about?
Yeah, I've got a little bit of news about Pro Wrestling Noah. So we all know AJ Styles has been signed to go to Pro Wrestling Noah to fight Marufuji.
Okay.
But
we knew that.
PW Insider is reporting that AJ's not the only one going over there. We know Io Sky also has the match in Marigold as well. We'll touch on her at some point. But the Good Brothers, Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, are also on their way over to Pro Wrestling Noah. What their involvement is, I don't know just yet. I'm assuming tag team, or maybe they're going to come in and shake things up for Marufuji. This would be, I believe, the first time that the Bullet Club will not be in a New Japan show in Japan, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. Interesting. That's fantastic, honestly. I am 100% okay with that, because that again, this is just kind of crossing those waters and opening those doors and allowing those collaborations to really happen, the affiliations, if you will. Maybe one day they'll be part of the Turnbuckle affiliation program. But until that time, their affiliations with these different companies is absolutely fantastic. And I mean, I'm excited about this. And I'm not just excited because of the WWE. I'm not just excited because AEW or New Japan or AAA or CWE or ROH or MLW or Noah. I'm not excited for individuals. I'm excited for professional wrestling as a whole.
Yes.
OMD, what are your thoughts on all of that happening with Noah right now?
I'm excited for it. And I mean, I don't know, Chris would have more history or yourself about this being the first ever Bullet Club appearance outside of New Japan. But we also know that New Japan is now part of that United Japan Pro with All Japan Pro, Noah, all of that. So I'm wondering
Right.
if this is more of that, all of that collaboration. You've seen all of those companies come together under one banner. And they've done a cross-platform show, and now you're starting to see this cross-platforming in wrestling. So like you, Carl, I am excited for wrestling to become global with everybody working together.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I want to clarify what I said, OMD, to you specifically. I said that Pro Wrestling Noah, this might be the first time in Japan that they've had the Bullet Club on a show that is not a New Japan show. They've done Bullet Club in Ring of Honor in the States and in Canada. They've done
Yeah.
they're doing AEW Bullet Club right now too. So
I was talking about Japan. Because they've got the ABC in TNA. You've got Bullet Club Gold in AEW. You've got the OC in WWE. We've seen it in Japan or Ring of Honor. So,
you know what? We're talking about Noah. We're talking about New Japan. Let's continue on with that for a while. I don't know how much you guys have watched New Japan, but I think you guys should take a look at this year's G1 Climax tournament. It's going to start on July 20th.
How did I know you were going to touch on this? Because I briefly saw reports and I didn't get to focus on it.
Man, this is super exciting. The 34th G1 Climax tournament is going to start on July the 20th. They've announced most of who the competitors are right now. They have 18 out of 20 that are announced. They set them up into different blocks, right? So you got the one side, you got the second side, as usual. A block is going to include Tetsuya Naito, Shota Umino, Shingo Takagi, Sonata, Great-O-Khan, Zack Sabre Jr., Gabe Kidd, Noah's Jake Lee, Evil, and the 10th member is going to be determined by a qualification match. Block B.
When you said Evil,
oh yeah, go ahead.
When you said Evil, that's when my head perked up because Evil's my guy, man.
Block B. AEW star Takashita, El Fantasmo, Goto, Yota Tsuji, Yuya, Jeff Cobb, Hanar, David Finlay, Ren Narita, and a qualifier. So we only have two names that are left for this. Who's it going to be? Don't know yet. The G1 Climax block qualifiers will be contested between Tomohiro Ishii, Yoshihashi, Kenta, Caleb Newman, and Chase Owens, and Yujiro Takahashi for the A block. Go Chase. I love you, brother. Good friend.
Yeah.
Hope he makes it through. While New Japan president Hiroshi Tanahashi, Toru Yano, Oleg Bolton, Kojima, and TJP are going to compete for the final spot in the B block. Any of those names go in, it don't matter. This is still going to be a very exciting tournament that is happening where you get a showcase of the talent that is there and available in New Japan. And that makes me even more excited as we've been talking, because we've got all these other players that could essentially be used for crossovers, whether it's with AEW or with the WWE.
Yes. And as you've alluded
I got
to,
crickets. Holy shit.
as you've alluded to AEW, yes, I am excited for this. I have not yet watched a full G1 Climax tournament. I do keep up on it, watch and get my clips through social media, so I do pay a little bit of attention to it.
Okay.
And I like the way Japan does a lot of their stuff in tournament style.
Yeah.
Whether it's the G1 Climax, the best of the Super Juniors, the open weight divisions, the strong divisions. And I'm really interested in seeing the little bit that I do see of Japan each week on Wednesday nights at 10 p.m. on Access TV.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So that, you get that, not that history, but that perspective.
Right. No, it's very cool. It's very cool. I'm excited for this.
Yeah,
Definitely.
one of the cool things that I'm finding about this, because I heard that Tanahashi reports about how he's going about being in the tournament, because we all know he helps run New Japan right now.
Yes.
I like the fact that he's making his character earn a spot into the tournament and not just saying, hey, look, I'm in the tournament because I run the company. I like that a lot.
Yeah, me too.
But the one name that I don't know if you had said it because I lagged out a bit, but we're missing our murder grandpa. We need him in the tournament.
Yeah, I don't believe that I mentioned his name at all.
You did not mention Minoru Suzuki at all.
Anytime I watch New Japan, one of my questions two questions I gotta ask: is Evil on the card? Is Minoru Suzuki on the card? If yes on both, I'm watching.
You know who we did get to see on a card that was absolutely fantastic? Samson.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
We are talking right now Canadian wrestling's elite. They made their way back to our city and brought us an amazing night of action. Chris, why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Oh, geez. From the time Carl and I got to the venue till the time Carl and I left the venue, we were just in complete glee with meeting everybody, even with setup. I looked over at Carl as we were setting up the chairs. I saw the smile coming across your face, knowing what was going to happen in a few hours at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And that meeting, the first wrestler Carl and I met when we got there was Kamikaze. What a fantastic individual he is. I love talking to him. I got a little bit of a story about that too.
Okay.
A little bit of a funny story. So we were talking to Kamikaze, saying hellos. We were introducing ourselves, mentioning how we know each other and everything like that. We happened to bring up our good friend, Turnbuckle Studios, Chris Parrish, right? I did not realize this, okay? And Carl, I think you saw him standing there, but Bobby Sharp was on the other side. And I turned to Kamikaze. I'm like, oh, I heard of you through Chris Parrish. Bobby Sharp, was like 1 foot away from me. And he's like, oh, Chris Parrish, fuck that guy. And he walks out. I turned around and all I saw was Bobby Sharp's hair. I'm like, that was Bobby Sharp. And I'm like, yep. And I had a good laugh because I know how good of friends or how they are together. But no, this whole show was just fantastic from the opening bell, which was Kamikaze and Sean Martins, to the main event, which saw D'Lo Brown as a guest enforcer, as Vinny Da Vinci and Danny Duggan went at it. This whole show was just top bell to bell, exciting action. My favorite match of the night had to be all of them. Really, I can't really pick one. I enjoyed the Samson match, and I like how it furthered the story between Sean Martins and Samson that's happening in our city.
Right. And that's been a storyline that has been going on for a little bit now, and it has been great.
Right.
They have done absolutely amazing with everything with that, and I'm excited to see where it goes from here. There is a multiple different things that could happen, multiple different ways that it could go, but I'm happy with how everything went during this show. I want to give a good shout out to Matt Powers, who had a really good showing against Bobby Collins, and very, very happy for that guy. And then, it was just an amazing night of professional wrestling action. You never know who the star is that you are going to see at your independent show that may become big.
And let's talk about Matt Powers a little bit more, because during the intermission, I was talking with some fans who were not happy that Matt Powers lost that match.
Well, Matt Powers just got to step up a little then and make sure the next one he gets that 3 count on his opponent.
Yep. And well, he had a hellacious match. Yeah, he took on Bobby Collins. For those who don't know, Bobby Collins carries with him a wealth of experience, and Bobby Collins just ran him dry during that match.
Over 20 years of experience has Bobby Collins. So,
yes.
Yeah. Yeah, he definitely is a wealth of knowledge.
It felt like every time Matt tried to mount a comeback in that match, Bobby, as I said throughout the night, was one step ahead. That was our key term that night, one step ahead. A lot of the matches featured one wrestler who was usually one step ahead. So
yeah. And if any of you want to see that show in a couple weeks' time, we want to make sure that we give a chance for the tour to complete before we post the show. But thank you to Canadian Wrestling's Elite, who allows us to come in as Turnbuckle Studios and the Turnbuckle Affiliation Program and record the show, do commentary for the show, and put it out there for everyone to see after the tour has happened. So look forward to that soon on this channel, the YouTube channel at Turnbuckle_Studios.
Yeah. Now, my highlight of the night for sure, just meeting and talking with D'Lo Brown and watching how he interacted with the fans. It was just so cool to see.
You mean, for those of you who are watching this on video, this D'Lo Brown?
Yes.
Thankfully, we were graciously allowed to have a photo after the show with the commentating team and D'Lo Brown. Chris Best, as you can see in the photo, with the shirts and the tie. And I had taken my shirt and tie off at this point because it was bloody hot in there. But D'Lo was absolutely fantastic, amazing, and just absolutely perfectly great.
Just I want him to come back. I really do.
Okay. Because I couldn't be there due to other obligations, I do have to ask, did he do the head bob?
I've got a picture of him doing that, and I will send it to you after the show.
Yeah, he definitely did. Definitely he did. You know who isn't bobbing his head in agreement with other people or for someone? This person has an issue with CM Punk. This person says F CM Punk for life. You wouldn't shake our hands in TNA, little biatch. And you clown on the only real friend you ever had in Colt Cabana. I shared a bank account with my mom before she passed, you little insensitive B-word. You little heartless alien. Suck my, you little weak B-word, couldn't beat a jobber in UFC. You effing nearly pathetic little joke. Come beat me up, B-word. You suffer inside, everyone, and they mama knows that. Yeah, it's really hard to read. I know, and it's really hard to understand. I get it. But when you find out who this is, get your head right, you little suffering ass B-word.
I did read that earlier as well.
I didn't. Can I take a guess on who said it?
Yeah.
Was it Ryback?
No.
Because Ryback also has his problems with Punk too. So
it was, believe it or not, I believe it was a member of the ICP.
Oh, yes. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, Violent J of the Insane Clown Posse decided to throw this out there. It's banter back and forth, which has happened quite often between the two of them. And you just kind of wanted to kick up a hornet's nest. And that's it, right? So that's kind of what happened. And we are going to see what comes of this. And I only bring this up because the use of social media for everyone today seems to be bountiful. And what better way to include some violence into your programming than the Juggalo Championship Wrestling? Who knows? This could just be all PR.
Right. We also know that social media, a certain former contender has deleted or temporarily shut down all of his social media as a result
just
of
say
what
who
happened on Saturday, that being one Drew McIntyre.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a storyline. That's guaranteed. But yeah, now it doesn't surprise me that it was Violent J. And at this point, because he's just so far over the hill as far as his fame goes, it feels like he's grasping for straws, in my opinion.
I mean, definitely could be grasping, but again, this could be just another way to collaborate together to maybe bring in a little bit more of that hardcore fan base that, that's how I performed. I enjoy still watching some, hardcore, insane type of matches. I mean, it's possible. It's speculatory at this point, but OMD, I know of a collaboration that isn't speculatory. What collaboration is that?
I believe we are talking about Thriller TV and the fact that they are now going to have the complete library of every AEW pay-per-view as standalone offerings or pay-per-view bundle packages. AEW is still looking for a TV rights deal for the fall. Everybody has been clamoring for them to get a streaming deal.
Mm-hmm.
They've got the streaming deal. What I don't get is how they're doing it with this mishmash of different pay-per-view events for each package.
Right.
So
I mean, I'm on Thriller TV right now. So you've got from the earliest, you've got the AEW 2018 and 19 pay-per-view pack, which doesn't even say All Out 2018 and the 2019 pay-per-view pack. So the Double or Nothing and Fighter Fest, couple more as well in there. $40. So to my understanding right now, you can pay the $40 and you keep that. That is now yours. So it's almost as if you are buying a digital download for it or buying it on the disc. You've got it. It's yours until you decide to cancel your subscription or find a way to download it. some way. But the package prices are kind of all over the place. The 2020 pay-per-view pack is $32.99. $32.99 for the 2021 pack. The 2022 pack is $39.99. And then the 2023 pay-per-view pack is a staggering $65.99. So, yeah. For those of us in Canada, that's a way that we could do things, because Thriller TV does not allow us AEW Plus. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's weird. That
why
those
can't it just be
are
one flat rate and you get all those? Why can't it be one flat rate and you get all those packs?
I don't know.
I mean, I'll be honest. I mean, if we got that here in Canada, I would pay $200 for all 5 years.
Right? Right? No, I totally get it. I totally get it.
But I have a question.
Yeah.
Does that include the All In they held prior to AEW being formed as well?
I did not see that.
That sucks because I've been wanting to go back and watch that show.
Yes, there is one that is AEW All Out 2028.
Yeah.
Yes, 2028. And AEW 2019 pay-per-view pack featuring All In 2018.
So
Double
that
or
might
Nothing,
be that
All Out,
that
Full
might,
Gear, and the two specials, Fighter Fest and Fight for the Fallen.
So that's it then.
Okay.
That is, 2018 would be the All In that you're speaking of.
Yeah, because I've wanted to go back and watch that show again, just for the historic value of that show, you know? And that's, I think, what bugged me about, because I did read the article, what bugged me was the wording, like, enjoy historic AEW pay-per-views. To me, it's the fact that AEW has only been around 5 years, so nothing is quite historic yet for me, you know?
Right. Yeah, no, I totally understand where you're coming from with that. Buying these packages. Oh yeah, go ahead.
The first All In, yes, that's historic because that was the catalyst for AEW.
Right.
But the other shows, not quite yet.
No, they need another 15 years at least.
Mm-hmm.
With the purchase of these events or bundles, fans are granted unlimited on-demand access regardless of their purchase choice. So there you go. That is that collaboration. I think that there's one more collaboration that happened as well. And OMD, you brought this one to our attention. Again, centering around AEW and Reebok collaborating together on a sneaker tribute to Mr. Brodie Lee. Do you have any info on that?
I do, and I'm calling it up here right now. AEW and Reebok have teamed up to release a special edition sneaker in tribute to the late Brodie Lee. It is set for release on Canada Day. And it's a classic
July
leather
1st.
set, July 1st. It honors Brodie Lee's time as leader of the Dark Order. It's predominantly black, featuring purple accents and AEW branding on the lateral collar. The Dark Order's logo on the tongue and inside a tribute to the Exalted One is displayed. The midsole will blend purple and gray with special homage near the heel, and the outsole completes the look with black and purple.
Okay.
That doesn't sound like a bad look. I'd have to actually see the image of the shoe myself.
I have not found one as of yet, but I can tell you that they will be available to purchase for $90 in store at Champ Stores and online starting on July 1st. I think it's a really nice way to kind of honor Brodie Lee. You know, they're set to release the Classics leather Brodie Lee sneakers. Yeah, I think that that's absolutely fantastic. It's something different. It's not just a t-shirt, a commemorative t-shirt that everyone seems to do. This is something out of the box and a little out of the ordinary.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I am all for it.
I'm excited about it too, because like you said, Carl, it's a different look at how tributes are made. I mean, for every wrestler that's passed away, we've gotten a commemorative shirt or a commemorative magazine or something like that.
Yeah.
To go the shoe market is I like that. I really do.
I do as well.
And the fact that it wasn't a rushed decision, like this has taken 4 years plus for this to happen.
Right.
So this has been discussed. It has been planned. I'm sure probably not in the entirety of that 4.5 years, but
there was just one thing that I wish that it wasn't. I wish it wasn't Reebok, because I've had Reebok shoes in the past. They're not the greatest shoe. That's just my personal opinion.
Right.
But
no, totally understand that. Yeah, Reebok's yeah. A Reebok is a Reebok.
Yeah.
We are at 52 minutes of our show here, and I think that's going to bring us to our Showstopper segment.
On his feet. Oh, my God in heaven.
Sick debuts and returns. It has finally happened. It has finally freaking happened. Right?
Oh, yes.
They are here. Holy jumping, man. I had to leave to go to work.
Yeah. I really wish you were here for that. I really do, man.
I was not able to be here live for that. You people weren't able to see my reaction. No, I didn't take my reaction at 6 o'clock this morning when I was off of work watching it. But holy wow. I am happy that it's finally here. Because it's been a while.
Yeah.
And it was starting to kind of get like, I may start to just kind of not care anymore about it. But they brought it to where it needed to be. The Wyatt 6 has debuted. It was great. Maybe a little hokey when it came to some of the masks, when it came to some of the attires. But I kind of get that as well, because that's goes all part and portion with everything that's going on. Sister Abigail, though, wow.
There's
Nikki
only
Cross doing that.
Yeah.
Like, I was just about terrified.
There's
She
only
did fantastic.
Yeah, and there's only one person who could do it just as good as Nikki Cross could, and she's not even on the WWE roster. That is Abaddon. Could have done it too.
Yep. Abaddon's great. I love that girl. She's amazing.
Just words can't even describe like what the emotions that OMD, Chris Parrish, and Bubba Duke we were going through last night as we were watching this. Bubba Duke was the only one who could voice words. Us three were just like sitting there, just like mouth agape, just watching everything unfold.
Yep, we all muted. I had my headset off because Bubba just didn't want to stop talking and enjoy the moment.
He was enjoying the moment, but he was enjoying the moment in his way.
Yeah. And I loved the visualization and bringing the funhouse to life.
Yeah.
Found it very hard. Like, I've watched it 3 and 4 times to try and pick out wrestlers. The only 2 I was able to actually make out for myself were Gable and Strowman. I've relied on social media to tell me that Gunther was in there, Kaiser was in there, Mello was in there.
Yep. Dom was in there. There was Triple H was in there. Bruce Pritchard was there. Geez, there was at least 15 wrestlers that were in that attack.
Wow.
OMD,
get your old man glasses and watch it again.
Yep.
Yeah. There's a lot of they made this debut, we'll call it debut for one wrestler, return for the others though.
Yes.
They made it so that there's a bunch of little Easter eggs for us to pick up so that when we go back and watch it, we can see those ones. The first one I was able to pick up was the stable name, which is the Wyatt 6. You see it flashing across the one of the monitors as they're panning to the destruction that happened in the locker room.
Huge destruction.
Yeah. Beautiful cinematography on that.
Yes, that's where I was going to go with it, is that it's felt kind of like an indie film.
Yes.
But it wasn't a terrible indie film. It was like one of those almost cult classic type of indie film that definitely worked and left a mark and a legacy. Legacy we shall see.
I don't want to pat myself on the back here, but I got vibes of one of my short films I made from watching it.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it looks like it should be, at an independent film festival, and it was very, very well done, and I how they did it was near perfection. I'm glad that they didn't use a lot of light. They really only used the fireflies. Is really about the only thing that they really used. And there was obviously a little bit of studio lighting that was there as well. Very, very minimal studio lights, though, were used. The lantern, there was enough light coming off of that as well to give that eerie effect, especially through the fog, the smoke, the fog machine, and the smoke and everything that was there. It just really made for a perfect way to see the horror and the fear that was trying to be instilled, for me anyways.
Yeah. Do you guys remember like the very first time you saw The Undertaker coming to the ring?
Oh yeah.
That's definitely the vibe I got out of last night's segment. The very first time I saw The Undertaker, just again, quiet, mouth agape, a little bit terrified of the dude,
right?
But no, everything. Oh man, just from a filmmaker's perspective, I fell in love with the way everything was shot, the way everything was set up. Now, did you guys happen to catch earlier in the show the little tease at the lighting when Triple H was trying to convince Drew McIntyre not to quit?
It was very subtle.
I missed it. As well, the Uncle Howdy sightings throughout the arena that were shown after, like during Chad Gable's entrance. I believe it was also shown during Seth's entrance right off the hop to open the show.
Right at the opening signature, we saw silhouettes of Uncle Howdy. Right off that then, now, forever.
Yeah. I'm excited to see where this goes.
What do you say we talk about the participants in this stable? We already talked about Nikki Cross.
Mhm.
And Carl, I know you want to talk about one guy coming up finally because you've been championing this guy's call up for almost 2 years now.
I
Joe
have
Gacy.
been. Yes, it is about time that we are getting Joe Gacy on the main roster. Now, granted, while people know that it's Joe Gacy, it's not really Joe Gacy.
No, he was dressed up as Huskus.
Right.
Yes.
So now we've got Huskus,
Mm-hmm.
not Joe Gacy. So it's going to be interesting to see if any of the if there are any similarities and qualities of Joe Gacy that are brought forth through the Huskus character,
Mm-hmm.
Right.
or if this is just going to be, a totally different Joe Gacy.
I'm just excited about Gacy because, I mean, it was you, Carl, who turned me on to Joe Gacy. And you told me to check.
He's definitely overheating
Yeah.
or something there because
yes.
it has
I'm
been
frozen.
Yeah, you were overheating or something there was going on, and you went all robotic on us again.
Yep.
Yeah, I was
Gacy
saying
really
it was
looks
you,
like
Carl. OMD, I'm talking here. No, I was saying that Carl, you were the one who had turned me on into watching Joe Gacy. And that first match, I don't even remember who he took on, but just from his entrance, I was enthralled. And I'm like, I need more of him. And I got more of him. And I need more of him on the main roster. And we're going to get more of him on the main roster. The one that really got me going was the moment I saw Rowan, though.
Well, I think OMD had something he was going to say about Joe Gacy here first. So
Yeah.
I did. And I mean, I'm sure it was probably something to do with the lighting, the effects, but he really looks like he's slimmed down quite a bit in the last few months.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, when was the last time we saw him on NXT TV? I would say that was about 2 months ago, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I would probably go even a little bit longer.
Because I do think, like, the last time I remember you and I, OMD, live talking about him was maybe at Vengeance Day that year or earlier this year.
Maybe, yeah. I was excited with Dexter Loomis's portrayal of Mercy.
Yeah, and I want to quickly correct myself because OMD and I had a discussion because I thought it was Joe Gacy in Mercy's spot, but it was Dexter Loomis.
Oh.
And just as OMD said, just look at the tattoos when you go back and watch it. And I saw that,
Yeah. Hey, they're all under masks, man. So it's like, it's hard to tell. We were only kind of given who might be within that. And then we had to kind of bring it all up ourselves and try to figure it out. And I mean, mistakes are going to happen. It's all good.
Yeah.
No worries. And like it's just, yeah.
Just I'm just so excited. Now we bring the question.
Mm-hmm.
Now this brings the question. We know the what, sort of. Now we need to know the why. Well, actually, we need to know the what. We do still need to know the what. We need to know what are their plans and why are they doing this?
They're doing it because we refuse salvation. And we have to revel in what we are.
It's exactly what it is. Exactly
but
what it is.
The way Bray Wyatt always spoke and the way Bo Dallas now speaks, or Uncle Howdy, I should say, they talk in riddles a little bit. So it's for each of these promos that we're going to get, we're going to have to really pick apart at the Easter eggs for this.
Yeah. But the legitimate, genuine smile on Uncle Howdy's face because the mask was a little bit higher, but just that genuine smile on his face to be back and doing that and that crowd reaction.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
Yeah, and that's the same thing I had on my face too, is like, because as performers, like as former performers ourselves, when we're watching the wrestling, and I know Carl can attest to this because I saw you do it at the CWE show. I saw that look on your face when you saw like things that were nicely executed, that smile that came across your face to say, hey, look, these dudes actually pulled off the big move that they're going to do in that match, you know?
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. And to see all of this now come to fruition puts a smile, I think, on everybody's faces.
Yeah.
Do you guys have anything else to go along with this tonight?
I'm all good.
Just that the only obvious one was Rowan, because and it wasn't because of his tattoos, it's because I recognize how he moves. When he just did that slight turn, I'm like, that's definitely Rowan.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it was the sheer size, and of course the hammer tribute to Brodie.
Yeah, Parrish. Nikki was pretty obvious as well, but I mean, just
really, because I thought I had just watched a movie that said 7 days.
I'm just looking forward to SmackDown, because let's not forget those QR codes were flashed across SmackDown, so we may see them Friday night.
Yes, we may.
Yeah, you guys probably will. Follow along here on the YouTube and the Twitch for the SmackDown security detail with those two guys up top that you see there every Friday during SmackDown. Chris Best, tell the people where they can find you.
Yeah, you can find me at youtube.com at CBRS Entertainment, twitch.tv at CBRS_entertainment, threads.net at CBestFilms83, Facebook.com, Chris.best83, TikTok.com, CBRS.entertainment. You can look for me tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern, alongside OMD when we do the PlayStation Showcase. I actually have the game picked out. We are doing a game called Police Officers Police Simulation. It's a simulation game similar in vein to Grand Theft Auto, but instead of being a thief, you're a cop. Thursday night, you won't find me anywhere because I don't have a show that night. Friday nights, you can look for me doing the latest episode of the WWE 2K24 My Rise. That's going to be uploaded prior to our SmackDown Security Detail, which is 8 p.m. Eastern right here on Turnbuckle Studios. Saturday night, you can look for me doing Saturday Night Gaming, where we continue the adventures of Uncharted 4. And
OMD.
Monday. Monday night, 8 p.m. Eastern. You'll catch me alongside OMD, alongside Carl Carapel, Chris Parrish, and Bubba Duke as we do the Raw Patrol.
OMD.
People can find me on the Book of Faces, Daniel Harisic, HRYCYK. On Snapchat, One Man Dynamic, capitals on OM and D. On Twitch at OMD17 and Discord OMD6370. Visually, the people can find me right here, between here and the Boar's Nest, Monday nights, 7 to 8 p.m. with the Raw Preview Review Show, with the Bulkster, with Bubba Duke. Again, thank you to Chris Parrish for stepping up this week. Followed immediately right back here with this cast of characters, plus Bubba Duke and Chris Parrish on the Raw Patrol. Tuesday nights right here at 8:05 with Chris Best, with Carl Carafel on Turnbuckle Talk. Wednesday with Chris Best on the PlayStation Showcase. Thursday on the Boar's Nest with Bubba Duke. Friday on the SmackDown Security Detail with Chris Best. I think I'm just about everywhere, and Chris is too.
Yep.
As I put my ticker down below, it's my link tree, linktr.ee/Carl Carafel, linktr.ee/Carl Carafel. I don't need to go into any detail about where I can be seen because all of you can just watch the commercial. For Chris Best, for OMD and myself, Carl Carafel. Remember, everyone, the world's a scary place. Take care of each other.